Who are piloting UFOs? In our last episode on Disclosed, we covered a lot of material about UFOs or UAP, and I think we did our best to clearly show that it would take more faith to discount the existence of UFOs, meaning actual physical craft, than it would to acknowledge that they really do exist. Furthermore, I think it's incredibly obvious that these craft are being seen more and more, and the idea of their existence is certainly being pushed through social media, commercials, the news, and political messaging. Don't believe it? Did you watch the Super Bowl commercials? So the next logical question has to be, who are the pilots? Because only after we answer that question can we better understand their intentions. Let's dive in.
Are you not curious? Who is this man? This enigma? Yes, a man of many talents, but he is a glitch in the system. He spends his nights scouring texts for traces of lost knowledge. We dare not stand by and turn a blind eye to this man speaking on a public forum. It is all in the file. I present to you on this day the Ryan Files.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Ryan Files, you amazing people. Your support is greatly appreciated. Now, there's a great deal of misinformation out there when it comes to UFOs, UAPs, and who the pilots may be. A certain astrophysicist may believe that it must be extraterrestrials because of the Drake equation, which calculates the number of civilizations in our galaxy that should be able to transmit or receive interstellar messages via radio waves. However, a chemist may use the same equation and debunk the idea of extraterrestrial life due to the difficulty of making the leap from chemistry to life, even given suitable conditions. An evolutionist would claim the exact opposite, citing that there has to be extraterrestrial life because the same evolution that took place on Earth must be happening all over the universe. A Christian may look at the subject from a creationist viewpoint and what the Bible seems to say, while those in the New Age movement may see extraterrestrials as spiritual guides and entities who are here right now. And of course, there are those that believe there are no extraterrestrials. UFOs are just secret government projects that have developed craft that defy the laws of physics, and we're just not aware of the scientific advances. Some think the pilots of UFOs are from a civilization that lives inside the Earth. And of course, there is the idea that angelic beings, both good and bad, are responsible for the technology and use of UFOs. It gets crazy real fast, my friends. So let's draw it out. As I see it, there are really only 5 possibilities as to who are piloting UFOs. Here we go. Number 1, they don't exist, and we're just seeing natural phenomena such as weird weather patterns, meteorites, or even ball lightning. Now, I did just spend an entire episode on this very matter, and while I do believe there are weird weather patterns and the like that can explain away UFOs, let's not fool ourselves. This is a UFO. This is a weather phenomenon known as a sundog. This is a UFO. This is a meteorite. This is a UFO. This is ball lightning. This is a UFO. Enough said. Really, is there any more to say about this point? Yes, natural phenomena do exist, but they don't begin to explain everything. Moving on. Number 2. Humans, namely pilots from secret military programs, are piloting the UFOs, and all UFOs are made by humans right here on the Earth. I have little doubt that there are UFOs that have been built by human beings and are piloted by human beings. It could very well be that these are the next generation of U.S. craft we see being built by Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works or Robert Bigelow's Bigelow Aerospace. I personally think that the V-shaped and triangular-shaped UFOs are exactly that, and I believe that these aircraft are the results of reverse engineering and/or traded technology. You've probably heard of Bob Lazar and his claims of working at S4 near Area 51 in the 1980s and how he was working on reverse engineering the propulsion system of one certain UFO he called the sports model. Lazar claimed there were 9 different craft that were being worked on in the facility, and while some were the result of UFO crashes, others were the result of archaeological finds. Now, the Bob Lazar story is an interesting one. This guy has been discredited to the extent that no one should even begin to take him seriously, and yet there are other documented cases, admitted cases of the U.S. government doing just that, discrediting whistleblowers. Moreover, there is the real possibility that everything he saw was a setup designed to propagate misinformation. It always gets a little bit fuzzy when the government is part of any of these topics, probably intentionally. Still, there are some compelling facts that come out of the Bob Lazar case, and the topic really needs its own episode. Now, if that's something that you'd be interested in, please let me know in the comments. Whether or not the governments of the world are reverse engineering crashed UFOs or ancient archaeological finds, it's an important question to answer. If humans are flying UFOs from captured technology, the question is, where did that technology come from in the first place? But here is the piece of information that we cannot overlook when it comes to UFOs being built and piloted by humans. UFOs have been around since antiquity. What was being witnessed over 3,500 years ago is clearly something other than modern man-made machines. There has to be more to the equation. And now is where it gets a little crazy. Number 3, let's not talk about ET until we talk about just the T, meaning terrestrial beings, not humans. They are the culprits behind UFOs. You know, beings that reside hidden on or within the Earth, who are flying their craft in our atmosphere, and these craft are their own designs. In episode 11, I talked about Admiral Richard Byrd's diary and his account of piloting his craft to enter Earth via a route somewhere near the North Pole. The race of beings there were called the Ariani, and they certainly had advanced technology and UFOs. History and mythology tell us about all kinds of ancient cultures who lived inside rather than on Earth's surface. From the Bible to ancient Egyptian, Greek, Roman, and Native American mythologies, there are entities living inside the Earth. Think about the kingdom of Argartha, or the lost city of Telos in the Lemurians. Think about Hades or Sheol. Those are all located inside the Earth. Next time you visit Mount Shasta in Northern California, just ask what the locals believe. So are the pilots of UFOs from advanced ancient cultures who live inside the Earth? It's plausible. And if you think that's crazy, just wait, there's more. Number 4, it is ET, meaning literally a race or races of life forms from another place in our galaxy or the universe. They're traveling to Earth's atmosphere with their own design craft. Some of these beings cross over into a more spiritual existence, while some are 3rd and 4th dimensional beings just like you and me. We're talking about the Arcturians, the Greys, the Anunnaki and the Syrians, the Reptilians, the Draconians, the Palladians, the Asani, the Lyrians, the Carians, the Lang, the Insectilans, just to name a few. And why not? If one of these exists, it's likely that they all could and probably should exist. Ironically, this solution seems to be the easiest for many to digest. Think about that. 20 years ago, would you have ever thought this possible? 15 years ago? 10 years ago? What's changed? I think with the uptick in UFO sightings and reporting over the years, and a quiet but effective narrative that has propelled this belief, I think most people look at advanced technology like UFOs and say, it must come from somewhere other than our terrestrial world. I understand this completely. But with this explanation, you must also believe in some additional information. You have to believe that we are not alone in the universe, and that there are probably many numerous alien civilizations in our galaxy, let alone within the universe. You have to believe that faster than the speed of light travel is possible, really easy for these races, which in turn means you have to believe in wormholes and portals and likely time travel. And with this belief, you would also have to assume that contact has been made with governments around the world, and technology has been traded to mankind, quite possibly for the legal authority to abduct human beings. Let's be frank. History suggests that President Eisenhower turned down a deal with the Nordic aliens where we would dismantle our nuclear weapons testing programs in exchange for their advanced technology. But then he made a deal with the gray aliens, their advanced technology for them being able to legally abduct human beings. Now, this is yet another topic that deserves its own episode, as the story contains far more revealing and troubling information. Now let's look at the final possibility of who are flying UFOs. Number 5. UFOs come from angelic technology and are flown by what we commonly refer to as angels, fallen angels, and possibly demons. As discussed in episode 16 of the Ryan Files, we see how the extra biblical text of Enoch details out several notable events where we see the UFO phenomenon aligning with biblical accounts. How did the 200 watchers descend down to Mount Hermon? What did Enoch travel in when he was shown the heavens and the earth? What was the Bible talking about in Isaiah chapter 1 with regards to Ezekiel's vision? Wheels inside of wheels. Sounds like a UFO to me. Check it out for yourself. These are the 5 possibilities, my friend. Did I miss something? Let me know in the comments. In an interview with an ex-Pentagon official named Luis Elizondo, who was the former director of ATIP, or the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, the predecessor to the modern-day UAP task force, well, this is what he had to say about UFOs and their pilots.
I remember the conversation very well. This is a person I respected tremendously, very, very senior person. He's told me, he said, "Lou, I want you to stop doing this." I said, "Okay, sir, I certainly can, but may I ask why?" And he says, "Well, we already know what it is." Now, at that moment, I honestly thought maybe it was our own technology. I was running up against some super uber secret sap, and they were telling me to stop. And I said, "Okay, sir, so it's ours?" And he said, "No, that's not what I'm saying." And he said, he asked me point blank, "Have you read your Bible lately?" And I wasn't quite sure where he was going with that. And I said, "Well, sir, I think I know what it says. Where are you going with this?" And he said, "Well, then you would know that these things are demonic and we should not be pursuing them." Yeah. And he wasn't kidding. That's exactly how he felt.
Now, keep in mind, folks, Luis Elizondo was no low-level hack at the Pentagon. Former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid has defended this guy and said he actually was pretty prominent in the government working on these very things. And do you remember the 3 declassified UAP videos from the Pentagon that were released in 2022? Well, Luis Elizondo was the man responsible for distributing those videos to the public. And just for fun, among other things, Elizondo is on the record stating that UAPs might be from another dimension, they might use hydrogen found in water to warp space-time, and that the U.S. government may be in possession of exotic material associated with UAPs. He is the highest government official to ever make a statement with respect to what those inside the government think UFOs are. Folks, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. But we're also not in the Pleiades constellation. We're here on Earth, a place created by the Creator, and his enemies are demons and fallen angels. If UFOs are piloted by demons or fallen angelic beings, consider this. Suddenly, they could come from within the earth. The Bible clearly states that some fallen angels were imprisoned in the earth. They could be interpreted as coming from other places in the universe as based upon New Age movement assertions. The technology could have been transferred to humans like we see with the Watchers from episode 16 as they transferred knowledge to humankind. And of course, humans could be piloting some of these craft, no doubt. It's the one answer that encompasses all the other theories. And it is the one answer that scares the heck out of people. Why? Because if there are demons and fallen angels, then there must be a God. And in that moment, everything changes. I'm not telling you what to believe, but I am telling you what I believe. And when you step back and think about it, it takes far more faith to believe in extraterrestrial aliens from all over the universe than it takes to believe in what we see time and time and time and time again throughout history, mythology, and ancient text. It's literally been shouting the answer to us since the beginning, but the truth gets convoluted by those that fear the ramifications of 3 simple facts. Angels are real, demons are real, and God is real. Can't have one without the other. Now pay attention and don't get it twisted, folks. The extraterrestrial narrative is real. The New Age movement has seen to that in its own subtle way. I have zero doubt about creatures that appear to be Nordics, reptilians, greys, or insectilians, and who knows what else will be presented as a faction of an alien race to muddy the waters and keep you from the simple truth. We are talking about angelic beings and or demons. Some possibly good, but certainly many that are pure evil, and their currency is your life and your soul, and that's not me saying it. Here's what is said about the extraterrestrial race known as the reptilians from a New Age channel called Astral Legends. Reptilians are from the star system Draco. They are scaly lizard-faced aliens with muscular humanoid bodies, and they're about 12 to 14 feet tall. If we had to pick one particular race in the cosmos and call them the bad guys, or even a biblical Satan, it would definitely be this species. They feed off low frequencies, fear, blood, and death. They believe they have dominion over all beings on every planet and that all should be their slaves mentally and physically so that they can forever feed off every soul's light energy. They are also natural-born shapeshifters and can shapeshift into anyone. They don't particularly have patience for humankind and see humans as a source of energy and nourishment when humans become fearful, murderous, and destroy each other. They are also blamed for a large percentage of children abductions because their bodies aren't as polluted by toxins as an adult. In the sense of terror in a child who hasn't been desensitized causes a massive rush of adrenaline, which they appear to get a kick or rush from. Again, not my words. This was taken from a New Age channel called Astral Legends right here on YouTube. We have free will as human beings. I'm certainly not saying you have to believe what I do, and we can agree to disagree. As a Christian, I believe what I believe. I know I'm friends with several individuals that are either agnostic, atheists, or, well, scientists, who may not wrap their heads around any of this. And if the issue of my faith or religion in general is all you can take away from this episode, well, you've clearly missed the message. Yeah, I'm a Christian. Sue me. But I'm saying the exact same thing that high-level Pentagon official Luis Elizondo said. Aliens are demonic. Really, this has little to do with faith, though faith comes into play perhaps in the aftermath of making a decision about who is piloting UFOs. Interesting. Believe what you will, but do me a favor. When disclosure or first contact comes, and it will come, please don't forget this episode. And when you're being officially told that extraterrestrial aliens from another star system or galaxy have come to Earth, just remember what was said here today. Thank you so much for tuning in this week to the Ryan Files, my friends. This episode is a doozy, I know. I'd love to have a deeper discussion about this sometime in the future with everybody, and perhaps we can have an online event or meet in person. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. Send me a message through theryanfiles.com. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg, my friends. In 2024, we're going to be diving deep into some very interesting topics. I appreciate you tuning in, and I appreciate your input. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and tell your friends. If you enjoy this kind of content and want to help out, go to theryanfiles.com, hit Become an Agent, where you'll be forwarded to our Patreon page. Become an agent. Every little bit helps. Thank you. Be amazing out there, friends, and stay curious. The world we live in is not as clear-cut and as simple as we thought it was. That is for sure. And we're allowed to disagree and still be friends. That's what makes life the adventure it is. You rock, folks. Thank you so much, and I'll see you right here next week for another exciting episode of The Ryan Files.
The Ryan Files.